Rejected, rejected. You just got rejected. Rejected, rejected. Bro, it's like 4 in the morning. And I have all of this energy. Why? I don't know. I took a nap though. I did. I was supposed to make my video at like midnight. I fell asleep. Woke up. And here we are. Rejected. Does anybody else remember that chant? Like, I promise I didn't just make that up. But like when I was like thinking of making this video, like that came to mind. And I'm pretty sure it's from Zoe 101. So if any of y'all watched Zoe 101 growing up like me, then you're gonna remember that. Rejected, rejected. You just got rejected. Rejected, rejected. Today's topic is overcoming rejection. This video was asked for a little while back, but I could not find my notes, and when I don't have notes, then I just ramble. Like, I will talk forever, and like, y'all don't want that, okay? These videos will be like 30 minutes long, as they have been. I'm trying to do better, y'all. So when I have notes, then it keeps me from rambling so much, but also I didn't want to just talk from this topic freely, because I had watched a sermon on it like a while back as in like 3 years ago, y'all. And so I just wanted to explain it to y'all the way it was explained to me, but I couldn't do that without my notes, because if I didn't have my notes, then yeah. But I hope that this video helps someone, encourages someone, all the things when it comes to dealing with rejection, because if it's not dealt with properly, then we can become angry, we can become bitter, and like all the things, and then we kind of just stuck in a place that we don't want to be in. And rejection can be tough, y'all, because it's like, me? Are we sure? Like, and no one likes being rejected. Like, it's not something that's fun, but when it comes, you kind of just gotta dust your shoulders off, you know? Brush it off and keep going. As I've been telling my friends, the theme for the rest of 2020, like for the last half of 2020, has been we move. Like, okay, we move. Stuff happens, we move. Keep moving, keep going. We're not gonna stay there, we're not gonna get stuck, we're gonna get up, and we're gonna what? We're gonna move. I have my notes. Y'all see them? There's a lot, okay? Of course, I'm not gonna sit here and read all of this to you. I'm just going to read the stuff that really like stuck to me when I was dealing with this, because it came like, y'all know how like things be coming at like the right time when you need to hear it. Like in like 2017, I was experiencing like a rough patch, and this video popped up like on YouTube, and I watched it, and I was like, bro, this is everything I needed to hear right now. Like, this is everything I needed to hear. So here I am. So I wish I knew who the preacher was that preached this, but I do not. I do not remember, which is kind of surprising for me considering I remember so much. But yeah, the chapter of this was from Luke 9:1-6, and in summary, that's when Jesus is sending the disciples out to go and to heal people, to cure diseases, to cast out demons, like all the things. So he's sending them to go and do the same in the Words of Transformation Church as Jesus did. Yeah, so he sent them out with power and authority to go and do basically what he did. And there's a verse in verse 5, it says, "And wherever they do not receive you, when you leave that town, shake off the dust from your feet as a testimony against them." And so in that, I feel like Christ is kind of saying, like, if people don't receive you, like if they reject you, like dust your feet off and keep going. Like, you know, like the disciples probably were not accepted everywhere, you know, when it came to trying to heal and walk in the power and authority that Christ gave them. Like, even Jesus wasn't received everywhere. Like, I don't remember what chapter or what verse it is when Jesus, I think it's in John, but I'm not for sure, when Jesus like is trying to do miracles, but he wasn't even received in his own hometown, and so like he couldn't do anything because of like their belief. Imagine Jesus not walking in his purpose because he wasn't received in his hometown. Y'all. Like, he didn't let rejection stop him. You don't believe? Then okay, baby, we just gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go where the people do believe, so I can do what I know that I'm supposed to be doing. All right, period. And I kind of feel like that's kind of how we have to move. Like, okay, and if you don't see me for what I am, who I am, what I can do, then that's not on me. That's like on you. But I'm gonna keep moving in my power and in my purpose. You know, like, period. We can't just stop just because a thing or a person or an opportunity didn't come our way, didn't accept, like, all the things, right? Another thing, okay, so if you've been keeping up with me on social media, then you would know that I turned 24 this year. If you didn't know, now you know. And it is my Mamba year, my Kobe year, okay? 24. And so when it came to year 24, I did a little bit of, like, research, like, the top songs in 1996, like, all of these different, like, facts just about 1996 and, like, turning 24 and, like, looking up information about Kobe. And what I found out was Kobe was drafted by, I believe, the Charlotte Hornets, and they did not want him. Like, they drafted him but did not want him. And he was excited to play for them. Y'all, like, imagine getting excited to play for a certain team or someone picking you for something, and then they're like, just kidding. Like, didn't really want you, was just trying to, like, you know, I don't know, pass time. I don't know, right? So the Hornets didn't want him. And he ended up getting traded to the Lakers. And so early on in his career, Kobe was rejected, right? He didn't even get a chance to play for them. Like, they were like, don't want you. They got my hopes up and you don't want me? Like, what? But rejection is also a way of God redirecting us, and whenever God redirects us, it can be to something better. And in Kobe's case, it was better because he ended up playing for the Lakers, and that's where he left his legacy. And so I think that whenever we are rejected, we should look at it as redirection from God. And instead of saying why, we kind of have to ask, all right, God, like, what's next? What's next for me? Like, what do you have for me? This didn't work out, so where do we go from here? You know? And if we look at it like Kobe did, baby, if we were rejected and we're redirected, and where are we going to leave our legacy? Like, Lord, where are we finna leave a legacy? Where is it that you're sending me to leave a legacy behind at? I mean, hey. Okay, so let's get into these notes, baby, okay? Let's get into these notes. One of the points was, no one likes being rejected. It hurts when what you want doesn't want you. You applied and you didn't get in. You dreamed about it and it never showed up. You prayed about it and it never happened. And we can be carrying baggage in life because what we wanted didn't want us, right? And having a door slam closed in your face can alter the journey of your life. Just like it did for Kobe. The door closed, but another one opened, right? So just because one door closes doesn't mean another one won't open. A door opened for Kobe, and I'm probably going to use him the whole time because the Hornets literally chose him and was like, JK, bye. And he literally was like, I remember reading, like, he was excited. Like, I think he had talked to the coach or something before, and he wanted to play for them. But instead of letting it, like, really get to him, it just fueled his mindset to be great. And I think that's kind of how we have to take things. Like, when we're rejected, like, okay, that didn't work out, but the next thing that comes my way, I'm going to excel in it. I'm going to be great at it. Like, let rejection fuel our mindset to be great, just like Kobe, okay? Another point is you have to get over being rejected. Sometimes closed doors keep you from trying again. When folk don't want you, it can hold you hostage to that place for the rest of your life. So instead of being held hostage to something, whenever people don't receive us, we kind of just gotta brush it off and keep going. Like, okay, cool, right? And we were watching a movie on Netflix, like, the other night. I wish I knew the name because it was actually a really good movie. If I figure out the name, then I'll put it in the description box. But one of the things that the guy said that stood out to me when he was talking to this girl, he was saying how, like, when we have relationships with people, we're kind of like, it's kind of like a chemical reaction, right? So sometimes the reactions are good, sometimes they aren't, but we never really know what kind of reaction we're going to have from people until we're like interacting with them, or until we have that relationship with them. So we don't really know if it's going to benefit us, or if it's taking away from us until we kind of mix the two together. Because they was baking up some stuff, y'all. They was baking up some stuff, and so they was talking about chemistry or whatnot. And so then that's how he was tying the people into like the relationship thing, into like chemical reactions. I'm gonna try and figure out the movie because it was really good. Like, it was really good. And if you have Netflix, you should go and watch it. My family has taken my privileges away from choosing Netflix movies because my dad says I pick the same movie every time. And honestly, rom-coms are not the same, okay? Just because you've seen one doesn't mean you've seen them all. Living through rejection. Okay, so we have to be cautious about our connections. We have to be careful with who we connect ourselves to. Hey, this is like a perfect tie-in to what I was just talking about, the chemical reactions. Like, we don't really know what we're getting ourselves into until we're kind of in the relationship with other people, right? Everyone isn't worthy in being in relationship and connectivity to you. And knowing that comes from knowing yourself. When you know who you are, then you know like what you're going to tolerate and what you won't tolerate. And you kind of get more discerning in who's on the same track as you, who's on the same page as you, and kind of who isn't. Some people are not grateful for what you bring, nor worthy of who you are. Some jobs cannot appreciate what you do, and some things and people are not worthy of what you do or who you are. And you have to realize for yourself when people can't appreciate the gift, the beauty, and the talent that you bring to the table. Because if you don't realize it, then you're going to be trying to tap dance and get people to see you and know your worth and all the things. But baby, the person that's supposed to know, the people that are supposed to know, are going to recognize it. They're going to call the qualities out that you have in you because they see it, right? So when people can't see it, okay, it doesn't take away from who you are. It doesn't make you any less of a person. They just might not be the people that are supposed to be in your life. You feel me? So honestly, this whole topic kind of is like tied into knowing who you are, like knowing your self-worth and all the things. Because when you know who you are, then you move different. You know who you are, you know what you bring to the table, and you don't have to settle for less, and you don't waste time trying to prove it. Like, this is me, this is who I am, take it or leave it. If you leave it, cool. Something is coming, okay? Something, someone, some job, some school, whatever the case may be. Another door is coming. Another door is going to open. And then it says also, you are disqualified to hook up in certain situations. It is not arrogance, it is just awareness. When you have self-awareness of your giftedness, it prevents you from hooking up with anything or anybody. You're not conceited, just confident. You've been through too much to keep playing games in whatever stage of life you're in. You just can't walk in anything. You've been through too much. Okay, I'm not sure who this quote is from or this saying is from, but there's one that says, like, when you live for other people's acceptance, then you'll die by their rejection. And I think that that's something that we should take into consideration when we're talking about rejection, because if we don't know who we are and we don't know who we are in Christ, then we'll be looking to other people to accept us, to validate us, all the things. And then when we don't get it from them, then we're like, you know, feeling some type of way, just like, yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah, I don't know. But then we're like, kind of like stuck, and then we're just like, well, why? You know, like, why? I don't know. But when it comes to rejection, I think that it can be handled better when we know who we are in Christ, when we know that our worth is in Him, when we know that we're validated by Him, when we know that He's enough for us. Like, so whenever we know, like, our validation doesn't come from those things, it doesn't come from the external, but we've already been validated inside by Christ, then I think we're able to move through it a little bit better. It says, offense is Satan's #1 tool to detour the body of Christ. Offense leaves the residue of bitterness, and bitterness leaves the stain of anger. We're going to brush off bitterness. We're not going to let it sit on us because we don't want the residue of anger, right? We don't want that on us, so we're going to brush it off. Shake, 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 shake it off. Isn't that Mariah Carey? Y'all. They thought the closed door would make you die, that the rejection letter would make you quit, that them saying no would make you throw in the towel. The one who rejected you doesn't have the final say over you. And I think that that's kind of like reassuring. Like, just because someone tells you no doesn't mean God doesn't have a yes for you somewhere else, right? And so when we know, like, okay, this no isn't the final say over me or my life because Christ is over me and my life, and because you said no, I know that there's a yes coming. Ooh, okay. I love this point. It said, make certain that the one that hurt you didn't get the best of you. You cannot hurt me enough to keep me down. You know, get your hair done, get yourself back in the gym. You know, that song by Vito is like, you got it, girl, you got it. Baby, get you and me. Hey Siri, play You Got It by Vito. It's time to boss up. Fix your credit, girl, get at it, get your bag up. Hit that gym and get back fine. Go get that degree, go girl, focus on me. Unlock potential that you didn't know you had it. And get your glow, girl, what? I know that you gon' get it, you got so much. Don't let nobody tell you that it's over. Ready? Alright, y'all get the point, right? Go get your glow. Like, just because someone didn't receive you, just because something didn't receive you, get back right, baby. Go get back right. We're gonna do all the things to realign, okay? To realign. Okay, so another point was learning to take the L. And Big Sean has a song. You know, last night I took a L, but tonight I bounced back. Hey, wake up every morning and then I count stacks. I think I said the lyrics wrong. But bounce back by Big Sean, you know. And then Lecrae, when he's like, if I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson, right? I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. Like, when we take a L, are we really taking an L? Or are we learning? You know, when you look at a loss as a learned experience, then is it really an L? Come on. Big Sean says it was a loss, but we bounced back. Lecrae said, if I took a loss, I learned a lesson. So, however you want to take that, we bouncing back though, right? Regardless of what it is, bounce back, learn, move on. Move on. But yeah, so it says rejection is an offense to my pride. It's tough to be gifted by God and still get rejected. Pride can't understand why the door closed. Be careful because pride says I'm too gifted not to get what I want. Pride believes if you want it, it should want you. Pride will keep you in a place where you've been rejected because pride has to figure out why. Pride says I'm not walking away until I know why I didn't get it. And the devil will keep you hostage because pride won't let you go. So I think a prayer that we should be praying when dealing with rejection is that God strips us, well, this can be a daily prayer, honestly, that God strips you of pride so that way you're not stuck in situations or experiences and you're not running in like circles, right? We move. That's the theme of the year. We move, like, and we don't want to be stuck in something and we're not moving anymore, right? As my notes say, every job won't be prosperous. Every relationship won't work. Every friendship won't last forever. Everything you desire won't be good for you. And I think sometimes that can be tough. Like, when friendships are over, talk to different friends about this, like, it sucks, like, knowing that some people are only in your life for a season, and then when their season is over, it's kind of like, dang, we had a lot of good times, we had a good run, and this is kind of where it's ended, you know? And it can hurt, and it's not like, oh, dang, I don't have, like, great people in my life, because you can very much still have great people in your life and still be hurting because you took an L, and sometimes you just have to bring yourself to a terms of acceptance. Like, if you took a loss, like, it's like, okay, this is what happened. I took an L. This hurts, But I'm going to keep going, but I needed to acknowledge my feelings and how I felt and not just, oh, it's fine, you know, like sit in it for a little bit, like, okay, this is what happened, but don't stay stuck in it, right? Whenever things happen to us, we're going to acknowledge it. We're going to acknowledge how we feel. You can write it out, you can talk it out, but you're going to get up, you're going to pick yourself up, and you're going to keep going. You're going to get back right, baby, right? You're going to get your glow. Learn to take the loss, know when it's time to leave. Don't beg, don't plead, don't argue. In order to get over it, you have to get away from it. But at the same time, like, I think it was in Medea when she was like, when people walk out of your life, let them go. Like, let them walk, right? Don't try to hold on to them to stay. Let them go, right? I think there's a quote that says, when you love something, let it go. If it's meant to be, it'll come back, right? But, hey, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I don't know the rest of the words. Here I am, and here I stand. Yeah. You know, we just can't stay stuck in the things that didn't work out and the things that weren't for us, because if we stay stuck there, then we can't receive what is for us and what God has for us and the things that He wants us to step into. I think it was Ty Tribbett when I was listening to him, and he was saying how, like, we can't accept a new thing that God is trying to do in our life when we're still holding on to old things. We gotta make room. Alright, so perceive another possibility. Don't get held up in one place, but realize that there is another place God has ordained for you to walk in. God always has another job, another school, another boo, another possibility. There is always another, right? Do not get depressed. God can make something out of nothing and create another opportunity in your life. God can do anything but fail. Ooh, this one's good. It said, could it be the closed door was not the enemy, but the hand of God to prevent you from settling for less? God had to reject you in order to redirect you. Baby, I've been saying that since the beginning. Like, when I was talking about Kobe. God has to reject us sometimes in order for us to be redirected. And whenever we're redirected, it's to better. So, did we really take an L? No. We learned what? A lesson! If I can find the video for this sermon, then I will put it in the description box. But if not, I hope that me going over these notes with y'all kind of helps you in dealing with rejection. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with all of your family and friends. In 2021, we're cranking out more content. I hope that you guys are enjoying what I have been producing so far. It's only going to get better from here. This is just the beginning. It's your girl, Lysa.